Welcome back to another episode of the No Flop Zone. You're taking time out with me, Boti, and of course the coach's coach, Joey Wright. We've got a lot of stuff to get through today. We've got the whole Cairns lineup, the whole Brisbane lineup, Melbourne, some practice games, which we've had some results where Sydney's beaten Tasmania twice, Cairns has lost to Southeast Melbourne and also overnight to Melbourne United. I want to ask you, as a coach, how important to you is pre-season form when you're coaching a team? Like what do you take from that?
Well, wins and losses are irrelevant in preseason.
Right.
Totally irrelevant. Veteran coaches have enough confidence to do what they need to do to make the team better for the rest of the season. Rookie coaches typically try to win those games and maybe set themselves up for failure later. In preseason, for me, what I would always do is that's kind of our time to get our rules of engagement down. This is how we're going to talk to each other. This is my expectations of you. So I don't believe in playing veterans a lot during preseason. I want to get a look at everyone. But when we go out on that court, we're still going to play winning ways.
Yeah.
So if you're a veteran and you're playing 7 minutes, I expect you to play 7 minutes hard. I don't ever think it's a time to go out there and dog it on the court, whether it's preseason, postseason or whatever it may be. You go out there and play your butt off if you're out there. Right. Now, it's my responsibility as a head coach is not to have 6-year vet out there in the preseason game playing 40 minutes. Not in the early ones anyway. Mm-hmm. That last 1 or 2 right before, you kind of want to start running the way you would run
in the season.
During the season. Yeah. But now, wins and losses in preseason means nothing.
Yeah, I used to find that people get very caught up in results from the Blitz, say, and it'd be like, okay, the history of the Blitz was that whoever won it would play in the finals.
Yeah.
That's about all you could take out of it, really. Now,
I think we did win it one year, won the Blitz and won the championship, and I think another couple teams may have done it, but not many teams have done it.
No, not. But I think Perth's done it a few times.
Maybe Perth, yeah.
Because when you won 10 NBL championships, there's a likelihood you won a preseason tournament here and there.
True.
Let's look at Cairns because their roster is now complete. They've got Jack McVeigh, Rain Smith, an import called Admiral Schofield.
Sounds great.
That's really good, isn't it?
Great name.
It is fantastic. And a point guard from the G League import, Ashton Hagans. Then you've got Sam Wardenberg, Kieran Galloway, Alex Higgins-Titcher, Kyle Adnam, Marcus Lee as the third import, Cody Statman. The work that Mark Beecroft and Troy Stone have done for Adam Ford in helping put this group together, that's a really competitive group.
As I said, the first 7 on every team is going to be competitive.
Yep.
Bar no injuries, 40s teams are going to always compete and be there. So, last year they had a lot of injuries. I think even a year before that they may have had injuries. And this is the problem with teams that, have just enough. They have like 7 or 8 players. Those 7 or 8 get a lot of wear and tear on their legs.
Sure.
You go a team that has a deep bench and a good starting group, it's not as much wear and tear on one person's body that gets dispersed out over the time. And so injuries, you're not as susceptible to injuries.
Right.
Where if Cairns stays healthy, I think they'll always be competitive.
Yeah, and I think with the younger players, what you see with Adam Ford is they're always better. After having a season with him, he always improves guys. When they go to other programs, often they're nowhere near as effective.
Well, he has the scope and he gives them the freedom. Like he has the scope to play them, and he goes, you know what? I need you to go be impactful. I don't need you to be safe. How I always approach rookies, and not just rookies, but young players, period, they're not going to win the game or lose the game for me. So you guys just go do what you got to do. Go play loose, go play hard, take your open shots, try to have an impact on the game in a positive way. And if you don't, we'll just put you on the bench because it's not really your responsibility anyway. If you do well, great. Now we pick up 8 points from a guy that we thought we were going to get 0 points from, and then these guys step up and win.
And they had no scout on that kid.
No scout. Don't even know his name.
Marcus Lee. He's been at Tasmania, been at Melbourne United. You surprised to see him at Cairns?
No, not surprised. I think the last couple of years, and I've done this as well. You dump your money into maybe 2 imports, and then the third one, and you just kind of get a good guy. And Marcus Lee is a really, really good guy and a very capable ball player. And they probably could get him for a decent price because he understands the value of playing in Australia versus playing anywhere else. I think Marcus Lee is a very intelligent guy who gets that. And if if it's an extra $100,000 for a better lifestyle, and he understands that, then great on him.
Be a good backup for Sam Wardenberg. I like the look of that group. I really do.
I like all the looks, though.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's true. That's true.
But then you get to some of the teams like your Adelaide or your Sydneys, Melbourne, Perth. They got a little bit more. Like
Sure.
they got 2 or 3 players more than that. We talked about Cody Statman at the end of that list. Cody's a very capable player and is going to be a good player in this league. But Cody Statman isn't the same as a Jack White, who might be coming off the bench for Melbourne. Whatever.
You got to keep up with it. Jack White has left. He's playing overseas. We did this a couple of weeks ago. I don't know, somewhere where they'd never seen him shoot a free throw. All right.
Why are you so mad at him in his free throw? You made a number of comments.
I just think he shouldn't be teaching Xavier Cooks how to shoot free throws. I said, stay in your lane.
He's Xavier's free throw coach.
Oh, wow. Yeah. All right, let's move on to Melbourne United now that you mentioned them, because they've got Jesse Edwards, who's a 7-foot import. Other new faces, Milton Doyle, Finn Delaney, Tyson Walker, Fabian Krislovich, Tom Wilson, Dash Daniels. That's the new faces.
Tom Wilson.
Yeah.
Blast from the past.
Yes.
Yeah, that's it's great to see him back. I'll be very, very interested in how he performs.
Have you had a lot to do with him across the journey?
No. I recruited him hard. I think a couple years. Tried to get him. He was one of the young stars coming through, but no, not a lot to do with him.
Yeah, I like the look of that group. That's deep. That's a deep team.
Yeah, that's a deep team. They'll have some assets coming off the bench for sure.
And Brisbane. Okay, you got Alex Dukas, Jacob Holt, who we've discussed. Jason Freeman Liberty is an import from the Windy City Bulls, NBA G League. Jack Purchase, who I just want to pause there. The other week we had a question from a viewer saying, can you think of any players that if they were in a different environment might have been far more successful? Jack Purchase is one of those guys, I reckon, that if he's in the right environment, he could really be a very prominent NBL player.
Maybe. I don't know enough about him.
Thanks for
I just don't know enough about him.
there.
I've seen him play a supplementary role, and he's done well, but I don't know enough about him.
Then we've got Jalen Adams, Jensen Bradkey, who we are very fond of, Casey Pratham, Mitch Norton, Tane Murray, Sam McDaniel, Toby Smith-Milner, Tyron Harrison. I reckon the only question mark is Stu Lash, the coach.
Well, no, I think there's some more question marks there. Jalen Adams, I think, is a question mark. Toby Milner-Smith, question mark.
I know a lot of people would agree with that.
I just think, if you're a role player like Toby Milner-Smith, you're coming off the bench, let's have a positive attitude and bring positive spirit to the team and be an asset to that. A lot of negative body language and head rolling when he's on the court. And if him and his buddy Jalen hooks up, their head gonna roll off their body with those two. So we'll be interesting. I don't have a lot of confidence in that lineup.
Okay, I'm still curious to see.
Now, if Stu is legit and he gets more out of them, then
hats off.
Then hats off to him and great job. But if he doesn't get more out of that lineup than what I see there, I don't think that they're a contender.
Okay, we're going to jump to viewers' topics. John Wright is back. He's got a couple of really good questions for us, but he brought one up in our last show about who we would have in the Boomers, right? And we sort of basically did it off the top of our heads. And I've had an email from Grant Richards who wrote to say that we didn't make much of a case for Alex Condon, a 6'11" kid playing at Florida.
We mentioned
NCAA champions. Yeah. Did we mention him?
I thought we mentioned him. That was the guy I was saying that I didn't know his name at the time, but he played for Florida. He was
right. Yeah. Okay.
I love he has great mobility. He plays hard. He seems like he has a decent IQ. He's going to be a great player in the NBL. I don't know if he's an NBA player, but he's definitely going to be a great player in the NBL, and he might be borderline NBA as well.
A couple of guys we may have overlooked also: Lockie Olbrich, Josh Bannon, Alex Dukas, Harry Wessels, Taron Armstrong, Luke Travers, maybe even Ben Simmons as potential boomers.
You only get 10.
All right, we got so John Wright's first question to us is the 36ers are set to play. Everyone's present. Everyone's healthy without worrying about who they're playing and matchups. Who would you start and why? Your first five.
First five? Ooh, good question, John. Well, let's go with the shoe-ins, the 3 imports. All right.
You got all 3 in.
Yeah, all 3. All three. I'm not messing around with this, let's be soft, No, those are three really, 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 really good basketball players.
That means you're benching Humphreys.
Humphreys coming off the bench for me.
Okay.
Yeah, Humphreys is coming off the bench for me. And as much as I think they're, I'd also probably bring one of my young guys in at the beginning. Rasmussen has been killing. And he's a guy that defensively can get out after some of these other guards. Cameron, same thing, one of those guys that can get after one of those guards. And I would talk to one of my veteran players, maybe DJ, about being an impact off the bench and letting one of these young guys, because if I got DJ in there with the exact same minutes as Cotton, they start pillaging from one another.
Right.
So I've always had one team with a guy on the bench that can get us 30. Every team, I've always tried to structure them that way. And I would give that guy a little bit more freedom, a little bit more go than everybody else, just for taking that hit or coming off the bench, because it's just an ego thing. Starting lineup is the most ridiculous, overrated thing in the history of basketball. But, John, there you go.
Yeah, well, it's interesting, because I think they'll probably go with Cameron at the point, Cotton, Vasiljevic, Harrell, and then Humphreys or Cheatham. It's a question of how fragile is Humphreys in terms of how much does he need to start, or how much does he accept coming off the bench?
In order for any team to be a championship, somebody's got to walk in there and give up something.
Yeah.
So one of those superstars, whether it's Cheatham, DJ, Cotton, Harrell, Humphreys, one of those going to have to give up something in order for them to win a championship.
Okay. All right. His other question is assistant coaches. Most assistants appear to be carrying clipboards for stats, etc. Joey and Boti, you both had assistants. What was their in-game role? What was your assistant's in-game
So
role?
I had one assistant that kind of kept up with deflections. So we charted deflections. We charted walks, sprints, runs. So we didn't, if a guy was, go up and down the court a couple times and jog, you got to come out. You got to come out. So we charted those for the whole year. And we could see, these guys aren't sprinting, or this guy's sprinting more, this guy's running, this why this guy's playing more. All the fouls and all that stuff I could keep up with my head. KB did a great job of keeping up with that stuff, but I knew what every foul every person on the team had. If we're playing someone like a Melbourne United Dean does a really good job of after timeouts. I would have someone charting everything that happened after timeouts because
what the play was.
Yeah, what the play was, because they were unbelievable at it. Not just them; it was a lot of coaches that were really good at it. So we charted stuff like that.
Back in the day, Fernie was pretty good at that at Cairns.
Fernie was very good,
running a good play out of a timeout.
Yep.
Yeah, my assistant coaches, when we were on the road, I just had them work out where the best pizza deal was, where you get 2 for 1, because you're working on a stipend from the club. Joey, another one from John. Assistant to possible head coaches. Joey, can you name maybe 3 ex-players you've coached that you think could develop into head coaches one day, and why? I know we did Jason Cadee a while ago, but
Peril Cameron. He's already been a head coach. He is a head coach, but I'm assuming he's talking about here in the NBL.
Yeah.
Peril Cameron would be great as an NBL coach. Anthony Petrie, I think, would be a excellent. Luke Kendall. I think Luke is going to be just a superstar coach if he ever gets an opportunity to do it. But those would probably be 3. Adam Gibson would have the knowledge, for sure. Whether he has the ability to command is probably the only question, but his knowledge and what to do out there would be great. But that's what I think he's trying to learn now.
What do you think of, Kendall and Petrie, are they coaching anywhere at the moment? Like in the
Petrie's coached NBL 1 for the last maybe 5-6 years for Gold Coast, and it's done really well. I think I want to say they won a championship. Jason played for him almost every year, Cadee.
Yeah.
But yeah, and Luke's been coaching down in Melbourne for the last 4 or 5 years too, and I think he's assistant with one of the Melbourne teams. Oh, my bad, Tom Garlap. Can't forget that one. Tommy G's a coach.
Okay.
Oh man, he coaches under 18 nationals team.
Yeah.
He's a coach.
His wife's pretty good too, Renee. She knows her way around as well.
Renee is, I agree, both.
They could be the Tom and Robin Ma.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so he's talking about the FIBA Cup, John. He's saying how if it's not a World Cup or it's not an Olympics, should the Australian men be called the Boomers? shouldn't that be like specific to that? Like some of these guys that have played in the Asia Cup, all due respect to them, will never represent Australia at the two international events that really count. So should they be called boomers? He's saying like maybe they should have a different name, like a boomer is a male kangaroo. Maybe the Joeys. No, okay. I think that was a joke.
It'll be about three people roll over in their grave.
Or Australia A or Australia Select or Boomers Select, letting the basketball fraternity know that these guys are representing the country but aren't quite necessarily Olympic Games or World Cup in that stratosphere yet. What do you think?
The basketball community knows that. So if you're the head basketball body in France, you know who the Boomers are playing with. You know where their guys are at. And just like all the Boomers coaches would know where all their players are at. They know that France has 3 in NBA and they bring a 6 here and a couple. Like they know. I don't think you would need to change it. I think it would convolute things too much. And I do think for guys that are right there on the fringe that's working for it to be able to say I was a Boomer and to provide some motivation and confidence in them, I don't think it hurts anything.
Okay. So you don't think it diminishes being an Olympic Boomer?
You're still representing the country, no matter what. I mean, you still represent the country, so you want to represent the country well, and you want, if the Boomers beat someone by 60, that sounds pretty good, versus the Boomer Select team beat someone by 60.
Okay.
The Boomers beat them by 60.
Okay. Crafty Fat Boy has come in. I think he's sort of basically saying Townsville Croc's best ever import was homicide. And he's coming in on the back of what we spoke of Corey Williams last week, maybe suggesting that Townsville might be a good place to have an NBL team again.
Oh, it'd be a great place. It's one of the most epic places to play. They hated me, but I didn't leave. I coached and played there for over 20 years, and I think I left the hotel twice. And once I got abused because they thought I was Derek Rucker, so they cussed me out the whole way. I was just like, I'll just take it as I'm walking. They just did laps and Rucker, you fucking idiot. And so that was one. I just let them have that one. And then the other time I went out, I got harassed pretty much as well. So I learned to stay in the casino.
Okay. 121 Metro says the 36ers started preseason training at Sinclair rather than at 36ers Arena. The NBL 1 Grand Final was held at the Entertainment Centre. The actual Adelaide 36ers Arena now seems to be underutilised for basketball. Could a district club move in? How do you see its future? Well, you're there with Transition Sports, so you're using it.
Yeah, I'm using it for Transition Sports on Saturdays from 1 to 3 if you want your child to get some work in. But I heard a nasty rumor that it's going to be all demolished and converted into an entertainment center. And the floor was coming up, and it's just a nasty rumor. I would be personally hurt, and nothing to do with coaching there as a 36ers. I just think it's such a kick-ass venue for basketball. And, for the finals, and I heard it was great. The finals would be played at the Entertainment Center for the NBL 1, but, man, that'd be great to have had it in that arena, but I don't know what's going on with it.
Absolutely. I can't see a district club moving in there, but I think it would be a great shame if that venue, which is 3 courts, 1 outstanding show court, it really is Brett Maher Court down there, for that to be demolished would
If I know what I know now, I would have bought it.
Yeah?
Yeah. It's a great facility. It's just, I got so many ideas of what you could do with that facility to make money, keep it up, run it, and do well. I just hate to see that it won't be a basketball venue.
Yeah, well, you see even the Lightning are out of there now. They're training at Sussy. Have you seen the Sussy facilities?
No, I haven't.
Absolutely fantastic.
Really?
State of the art. Yeah, blew my mind. And they're playing at the State Basketball Centre, so that's another loss to the venue.
I know. Well, once again, I don't think they see it as a basketball venue anymore.
Mike Tickle, 9749. How hard is it for international, mostly American coaches to come in and adapt to the NBL and the style of play we have here? I have serious concerns with the way some coaches refuse to change their defensive strategies. I'm a 36ers fan, and you can probably guess my frustration. All right, 36ers fan. How hard is it?
For me, I don't know because I came as a player.
You were young,
so I
yep.
was able to assess the culture here, and I knew coming back as a coach, some things that I needed to change. One, I never coached with a whistle ever because Australians were so informal that they didn't like it. I didn't expect to be called coach. I knew my name was I knew the players were gonna call me Joey, and they called me Joey, and I was okay with that. Initially, as soon as the game was over, I kind of separated and from the players, and then a couple of older players sat down and said, "Look, after the game, we want you to come have a drink with us. Like you just kind of go your own way, and we don't think that's cool." And so I said, "Okay, I'll come have one round, and I'll buy that round." And it became a joke. I'd meet them wherever they're gonna be. I'd buy the first round, and this is when Adam Gibson and Brad Williamson and all those guys were young. So they would order triple vodkas. Their drink would be $42 each. It cost me $300-400, and then I'd get out of there. And they were cool with that because they could, we got our time together.
Yeah.
They got some free drinks, and now they can go have some fun without me browbeating them. So, but it's definitely a cultural difference coaching here versus anywhere in the world. It's different here. And you better adhere to the culture first or you're going to be out.
I've said to you, the difference between America and Australia, or the similarities, we both start with a capital A. The difference is the next two letters. In America, it's about me. In Australia, it's about us. And you need to join us, and you learn very quickly. Ballaholic's back. Good on him. He's a very good regular. He says, I think JaVale McGee is a very important signing for the Hawks. I'm curious as to your view of the reason for it. Was he signed purely as a replacement for Sam Froling and to help them go back-to-back, or to help them go back-to-back? Or have the Hawks seen the size of Adelaide's players in JLA in Perth and now Jesse Edwards in Melbourne and thought, we need a big guy to compete with them?
Well, a little bit from column A, a little bit from column B. They need great players. They've lost Sam for most of the year, so they definitely need someone to come in and play that position. And they've also lost Lockie. So, that's another big one. So they need a guy to come in there and kind of try to combine those two and do a little bit more. But, they just need great players. I don't know if they looked around and said they're doing this because of Adelaide they're just trying to win.
Sure. And Jonah Bolden, Harry Froling, a couple other big guys that won't hurt. He says, I know referees are never popular, but do they cop some unfair treatment in the sense if they have a bad call or game, we have social media blowing up for them to be sacked, whereas coaches and players criticising them in press conferences? I don't know about that. You cop a fine if you do that, don't you? But anyway, if a player goes out and has 5 turnovers, 4,000 shoots, 1 of 10, everyone supports them and just says it's one bad game, they'll bounce back. To me, it's silly to expect refs to ref perfectly when players can't play perfectly.
I agree with them. Refs do get the tough end. Like, if they do the best job ever, 50% of the people walk out hating them. And that's more than likely the team that lost, all right? So they going to walk out hating them. Do they get unfair criticism? Yes, they do. The same as firemen jobs are very challenging. The same as policemen jobs are very challenging. The same as anybody's job is fairly challenging. They chose to do it. It's a challenging job they chose to do. Now, this is my issue with the referees, and especially here only really here in Australia, is they then would bring in an attitude to a game. If you're truly professional, you walk into that game and you call what you see. You call what you see if you truly are a professional. If you're not a professional, you walk in that game, you call on emotion. I don't like that guy, tech. I don't like that player, tech. No, you can't do that. And I've seen that here. Yeah. Big time.
There's a couple of refs that were notorious for it.
Notorious.
Who shall remain?
Darnell on me. No, I'm not going to name.
No, as I said, well, they shall remain nameless. All right, we're just about to go for a break, but before we do, I want to point out that Father's Day is coming up and there's a grand selection of books available that your dad probably would love to have, especially these top couple. And you can get them at Dimmock's.
Dimmock's?
Yeah, I went to Dimmock's. Dimmock's is a bookstore, is a book chain. Barnes and Noble and places like that.
Gotcha.
All right, we'll be back in a second. We're back and we're talking Asia Cup, of course. What did you think of the tournament? Is there any value in it for the Boomers?
Anytime you get out there and play and get your team together and take a look at some guys, definitely it's a benefit. That whole tournament might have been to look at 4 guys.
Yep.
It may not be the 4 guys we think. It might be 4 guys that are kind of on the bubble, trying to see what they look like, see how they run the new offenses and so forth. But yeah, I don't ever see, playing as a bad thing.
Right.
No matter the talent. If you can get good in a gym by yourself, you definitely get good in a gym with somebody in there, no matter how talented they are or not.
Well, I thought we really, Jalen Galloway, obviously MVP of the tournament, really was the surprise packet, like elevating to that level. I thought Dave O'Hickey was fantastic. Owen Foxwell did great with his time. There was guys that sort of really came out and surprised us. I mean, you know what you're going to get from Jack McVeigh, Will Magnay, even Xavier Cooks, but some of these other younger fellas, it was really good to see.
Yeah, it may have been to look at Owen Foxwell, to get a chance to look at him or Dave Hickey. We're going to need a new Delhi soon. It'd be great to have Hickey, elevate to make an Olympic team.
Well, I mean, that was amazing given that Sean McDonald was ruled out, with the ACL, unfortunately for Sean. And for Owen to step up the way he did, and then for Hickey to step up the way he did was fantastic. I do think that competing in the tournament is value, but it's value to the other nations playing against Australia, more value for that. I go back to the Dream Team. When the Dream Team played in '92, everybody wanted to play against them, even though they flogged everyone by 43. It was the average winning margin. So I think in our region, we're that much better that it's for them to grow. We have to contribute to that. And then we get to the final, which is a terrific game of basketball. It was just excellent. Xavier Cooks.
What did you like about that game versus other games?
I just like the way Adam Capelman coached. I like their mentality, the fact that we could come back from 15 down and feel good about ourselves and come back and win. I like the way he coached.
You like the way he coached?
The jury's out.
You didn't want to give him a chance.
I didn't like
5 months ago.
I didn't like the last play he drew up against Serbia. I didn't like the last play he drew up against Germany.
That's one reason to hate him.
I didn't hate him. I just said, hey, the plays he drew up, we got one. I don't think we got a shot off on one, and the other, I don't know. It was just they were a disaster. But coaching in this environment was a great way for him to kick off his Boomers career, because you're going to win these first few games, so you're not under that sort of pressure. And then you get to the final, you are under pressure because you're expected to win.
Yeah.
And that was a terrific final, 90-89. It was against China. Couldn't have been a much better game.
I think Adam will do well. I don't see any reason not. He's studied the game everywhere. He's a student of the game. He was a very good basketball player too.
Right.
And just has a few injuries there, but I think he'll do fine.
Okay.
He'll be fine.
And we'll be back sooner than you think. And don't forget Father's Day. Great options.